Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Art with Liz here at the gorgeous renovated space at the Hoboken Public Library. And I want to begin, as always, with a major thank you to the library for allowing us to have these hybrid classes. I would hazard a guess that there are very few places in the United States where you can have free classes like this, both in the comfort of your own home studio and also here in person at the public library. So thank you, Hoboken Public Library. Today will be our final class for July. We will be back in August. Don't panic, but our class will continue. But today is our final class for July. So we have two different classes today. So our final day, not our final class for July, but we have a morning class from 10:30 to 12:30, and then an afternoon class from 1 to 3. The afternoon class is special and unique because it is a makeup class because we lost one class because of air conditioning problems here. This morning, we are going to continue our theme of looking at art by French-speaking artists. And our artist this morning is a very important French impressionist whose name is Camille Pissarro. Pissarro is frequently called the father of French Impressionism. He got that nickname because he was older than most of the Impressionists when he became an Impressionist. So give me a second to open up and share the slideshow with everyone, and then we'll start talking about his life and work. Everyone able to see? Perfect. Pissarro was born July 10th, 1830. He was a Danish French impressionist and a neo-impressionist painter. The neo-impressionist part isn't important to us today. I might talk briefly about that. It's not of interest to us in the work we're going to do today. He was not born in France. He was born on the island of St. Thomas, which is now in the US Virgin Islands, but was then part of the Danish West Indies. He's important because he contributed both to Impressionism and Post-Impressionism. He actually met Vincent van Gogh and was a huge influence on Van Gogh in his work. So not only was Pissarro a huge influence on Impressionism itself, but Post-Impressionism as well. He studied with a lot of the big guys, the forerunners of Impressionism, people we've talked about in this class as well. Gustave Courbet, we just talked about him last week, and Corot. He later studied and worked alongside Seurat and Signac. We talked about them last year. And in 1873, he started a collective of 15 artists, and they were pivotal in starting the Impressionist movement. This is the kind of work that Pissarro is most famous for, his landscapes. And it's fairly typical of Impressionism. Anybody, we've talked a lot about Impressionism this past month. What is it about this painting that makes it specifically impressionistic in style? Anybody here want to hazard a guess?
Small brush stroke.
The very small brush strokes. What else?
No black.
No black. Remember why? Lindsay's getting A plus. Right, they rarely used black because the Impressionists believed that shadows were created by reflection of color. So black was not a dominant color for them in their palette. It was color reflected off of the objects that they were painting. Anything else? The palette's pretty bright, right? The colors are bright, but also true to life because most of the Impressionists painted out of doors, or what we called au plein air. They didn't spend a lot of time in their studios. They were the first, well, some of the first. Corot and Courbet and Millet started painting out of doors, which was not fashionable or the thing to do at that time. So they learned from Courbet and Corot to do that. The Impressionists almost exclusively painted out of doors. Art historian Jean Rawalt called Pissarro, quote, the dean of Impressionist painters, not only because he was the oldest of the group, but also, quote, by virtue of his wisdom and his balanced, kind, and warm-hearted personality. So he was a good guy. All the Impressionists liked him. Cézanne, Paul Cézanne, whom we've talked about quite a bit, said, quote, he was a father for me, a man to consult and a little like the good Lord, end quote. He was also one of Paul Gauguin's masters, and Pierre-Auguste Renoir referred to his work as quote unquote revolutionary. Here's another thing about Pissarro that should sound familiar to you. Pissarro loved painting the common man, everyday people. And this was an innovation that the Impressionists brought to the world of art in Paris. Up until that point, most of the artists were painting royalty. I want to take a step back for a moment. Folks, please remember I'm not an art historian. I love that many of you are taking notes, but I'm not an art historian. So this is stuff that you can look up on your own and get more information on at your leisure. My goal today is to help you appreciate these artists so that you can do your own creative work in class today. So he loved painting the common man. He loved painting people and things without grandeur, without fussiness. Okay? He liked things to be plain and natural. Here's another distinction that Camille Pissarro had. He was the only artist to have shown his work at all 8 Impressionist exhibitions from 1874 to 1886. Again, he was a father figure not only to the Impressionists, but to all 4 of the major post-Impressionists, Cézanne, Seurat, Gauguin, and Van Gogh. So he was a major force in art for quite a long period of time. All right, let's keep looking at his work. His personal history was quite interesting. He was born in St. Thomas. His father was Portuguese Jewish descent, but held French nationality. His mother was of a French Jewish family from St. Thomas with Provençal Jewish roots. His father was a merchant who came to the island from France and had a hardware store that he inherited from his deceased uncle. And then he married his uncle's widow, which was like unheard of. It's still not a done thing in Jewish tradition, and it caused quite an uproar. But he and this woman had several children, 4 children, and they attended an all-Black primary school. So they were definitely rule breakers and different kinds of people. When he was 12, his father sent him to boarding school in France. He attended an academy near Paris, and at a very early age, we've heard this about many artists, he developed an appreciation for art, particularly for the French masters of the day, and he started drawing and painting while quite young. He returned to St. Thomas at 16 or 17 and started working as a clerk in his father's business. Guess what? He hated it. He kept drawing in his downtime, and he started working with a British painter and geologist who lived in St. Thomas named James Gay Sawkins. He also worked with the local African population, learning to do sketches of people in post-slavery St. Thomas. He also left his family at some point and went to live in Venezuela, where he spent 2 years working as an artist in Caracas. He drew everything he could, including landscapes, village scenes, etc. He filled up multiple sketchbooks. But in 1855, he moved back to Paris. He became an artist's assistant and studied paintings by other artists who impressed him, including Millet, Corot, and Courbet, the landscape artists who were just at that time starting to paint out of doors. So this kind of painting, very typical of Pissarro. People loved his work. He was a very popular artist. Once Impressionism took off the ground, he was one of the most popular. So even before he became an Impressionist, he was accepted by the Paris Salon, the group that was the academy of that time. So even though he rejected the Salon later in his career, he himself was accepted by them. And his first painting was accepted in 1859, and his work at that point was heavily influenced by the landscape painter Camille Corot, who was an academician. So he was an artist who followed all the aesthetic rules of the Paris art scene of that time. Let's keep going. I love the shadow work in this painting, though. I want to take a moment to talk about that. Notice the shadows of the trees on the walkway in this image. They have a presence. He loved working with the quality of light at different times of the day, just like other Impressionists we've looked at. Remember Monet? We've talked about Monet. He painted the cathedral at multiple times of day during different seasons so that he could see what light did to the structure of the cathedral. And Pissarro did that all the time as well. Notice that the shadows are not black or gray. They are filled with color. There are violets and blues, a little bit of orange and yellow in the shadow. They are reflecting the colors of the leaves in the trees. Fantastic use of perspective in this image. Notice the way as things progress back into space, they get less and less visible and grayer and grayer and grayer, just the way they do in real life. That's the way the artist creates the illusion of three-dimensional space on a flat two-dimensional surface. Brighter colors are in the front, in the foreground. Darker, duller colors are in the back. Larger shapes are in the front. Smaller things recede into the back. He did a lot of drawing. He spent a lot of time outside drawing, brought those things back to his studio. This is what Corot taught him to work on in the studio. However, he broke with that teaching of Corot and preferred to finish his painting outdoors. He often finished a painting in one sitting, and that's why his images really look so real. This was sometimes criticized as being quote unquote vulgar because he painted what he saw. So if he saw dirt thrown up in a field or huge holes or cut down trees or fallen branches, to the average Parisian looking at that kind of scene, it was vulgar and kind of like if we looked at a painting today and it was filled with garbage, we might think, why are we looking at this? So he painted reality. And for many Parisians, many French people, that was thought to be vulgar and not art at all. All right. He loved to paint the roadway to Versailles in different seasons. He started becoming friends with Monet and Cézanne. They all shared a dissatisfaction with the rules and dictates of the salon, and they started working together. And that was when they decided to form a group. He spent some time in England where he got married. He had 6 children. He had many children, 7 children, 6 of whom became painters. Pretty awesome. No, that was his father. His father married the aunt. Yes. No, he married. You really want to know this? It's kind of interesting. He married. He married his mother's maid, a vineyard grower's daughter, with whom he had 7 children, 6 of whom would become painters. What? Yes. Yeah, I don't know what that 7th child became. It doesn't say. Maybe he managed, maybe that child was the agent who sold all the art. I don't know. He was an anarchist, makes sense, because he was a rule breaker. So he was politically active. I don't know. I think that's a pretty comprehensive covering of his life. I have some long quotes from him. Maybe we'll share them as we look at the images. So he often did street scenes of Paris like this. If you've ever been to Paris, this is so faithful to what it really looks like. And remember, he's just trying to capture a brief moment in time. So this kind of hazy quality, the lack of sharp edges, this is what the Impressionists were aiming for. They wanted to look so real, as if they were capturing people in motion. Photography was just coming of age at this particular time as well. So there was a drive for trying to recreate things as realistically as possible. He worked with Mary Cassatt, the American Impressionist, as well. Cézanne again referred to Pissarro as, quote unquote, the first Impressionist. Cezanne loved Pizarro. This is, unfortunately, it's an image that is in reality a little blurry, but the digital impression of this, the digital copy of this is even blurrier than the original, unfortunately. But this is the street scene at night in Paris. So as I mentioned, he painted at different times of day. At the end of his life, he liked to rent rooms in hotels and paint from his window when he became too old to paint out of doors. And I love this. In 1884, Theo van Gogh asked Pizarro if he would take in his older brother Vincent as a boarder in his home. And he said yes, but unfortunately it never happened. But he did love Van Gogh's work. And I do believe they met briefly. And Pizarro did explain to him the various ways of finding and expressing light and color, ideas which he later used in his own paintings. So here you can see some of his figurative work. He loved painting pictures of the common folk, people in the fields in particular. No ornamentation, no fancy dress portraits, which was what was the preferred aesthetic at that time. He, like I mentioned, became ill in later life. He suffered from an eye infection, so he couldn't work out of doors except in very warm weather. And he would rent hotel rooms and work from the window in his hotel room. One art historian said, quote, "The same quiet dignity, sincerity, and durability that distinguished his person was reflected in his work." Thoughts, feelings, ideas. Do you like Pizarro? It's very pleasing. Again, this is very typical of his work. You can see the influence of Courbet and Corot. He did do portraits. He died in Paris on November 13th, 1903. He had a nice long life. He's buried in Père Lachaise Cemetery. If you've ever been there, it's just a fantastic place to visit. Oops, what happened? There we go. Another Parisian street scene. Incredible detail. And when you see these paintings in person and that you see all the tiny brush strokes, it's even more impressive. Not tiny. He's not as tiny as people like Seurat and Signac, but small brush strokes. And he did these so quickly. Very rapid paintings. All right. Any final thoughts, comments? Anybody not like his work? I always love hearing them. We're good? Nothing more to say? Oh, we have a new student, Cher. Welcome. I hope you enjoyed the slideshow. All right, so I'm going to stop the share since there are no further comments. And
Liz, it's
yes,
Robin over here. Hi.
Rob,
I'm just impressed. With Renoir and some of the other artists and today's artists that there is not that defined line. That's almost like it's a blur, and there's a suggestion
right.
sometimes of a person. You don't even, if you got close, you wouldn't see, there wouldn't, details weren't there, but the suggestion gives you the feeling, gives you the expression. Uh, and I guess that's what you've been talking about for a couple of classes. I'm just impressed by it because it's the suggestion of something makes you know what it is, but they can somehow, with the blurred lines or the whatever you call it, you would know how to say this better than I do, but it's impressive. And I guess I would like to try something that is not defined and that is more loose or more suggestive.
Right. Well, and that is the magic of Impressionism is that they did create form, but relying on the use of color to create the shading.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
So it was less about dark and light, but more about the juxtaposition of color and knowing about the color wheel, knowing about complementary colors and color mixing. And in fact, I am going to do a short demonstration today about that exact technique. So, but let me explain what we're going to do today. Pizarro was a landscape artist. So I am going to suggest today that we work on landscape. You can either use a photo that you may have of a landscape, or after I do the demonstration, I'm going to put a Pizarro up on the big screen for you to copy. Those of you who are here, I invite you to watch the demonstration. Those of you who are my veteran students and you've seen me do this, you can look on your smartphones if you like to find an image. I did not bring pictures today for you to look at. So you can look at a picture of any landscape to create your landscape. I don't want you to create something from your imagination today, though. I would prefer that you use something that you're looking at, just the way Pizarro and the other Impressionists used something actual and real to look at when they created a landscape. Those of you at home, you can either watch the demonstration or you could copy a Pizarro or your own landscape. I'm going to recommend to everyone that you start with a light pencil sketch, some basic tenets or rules in landscape painting or drawing. You can choose to ignore them as always, but landscape has the horizon line. I'm going to show this in the demonstration. Landscapes are divided into the front or foreground and the top or background. That's what the horizon line does for you. Larger shapes are in the front, smaller shapes are in the back or the top. Brighter colors are in the front or the foreground. Gray or duller colors are in the back, smaller shapes are in the back. Questions? Those of you who are here, I have acrylic paints, I have watercolor paints, I have the acrylic markers, I have soft pastels, and I have Conte crayons, plain pencils, and Uniball pens today. All right, I'm going to ask Laura, please. I didn't give Laura a heads up about this, but I'm hoping she can help us set up to do a demonstration. While she's setting up to do the demonstration, folks here, you can get supplies that you need. Folks at home, you can start looking for landscape images and setting up your creative space to start a landscape. And let's go to work. Any last minute questions? No, we're good. Whoops. It's not.
So are you able to do that type of painting with watercolor? Like it's small brush
Yes,
stroke?
you can. Yes.
Mm.
Yes. I was going to use acrylic, but I'll use watercolor for the demonstration, just for you, Lizzie.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You can watch my demonstration if you like, or you can start out on your own. It's up to you.
What would you suggest? Those things, those crayons or watercolor colors?
I would use acrylic with something like this. The colors are very intense. If you want to do a landscape with very deep, rich color, I would use acrylic if you're lucky enough to have it. If you want to do something more in the more transparent, paler color range, I would use watercolor. Soft pastel is great for impressionist work because their colors are so very pastel hued. And you can mix with soft pastel also. You know what? I'm going to demonstrate all three media. Yesterday, we were talking about one of my favorite artists. Just blocked her name. Who are we talking about yesterday? Help.
Marisol.
Oh, thank you. Daphne Marisol, and she used oils, soft pastels, and watercolor all together in her work. Thank you, Susan, for rescuing me. Yikes. All right, so I'm getting my materials for the demo. Esty can't remember either. I don't feel so bad.
It's a woman.
Beth Marisol. Susan. All right. Oh, whatever I'm saying, I'm gonna use Lynn McNamee, Richard. My uncle. I failed to mention earlier, this afternoon's artist is totally different from Pizarro. This afternoon, we're looking at the art of a woman named Elizabeth Niché Lebrun. She's what we call a neoclassical painter. Her work is hyper realistic. She's a portrait painter. All right, I'm about to begin the demonstration. So here are the rules for landscape. You can watch on the big screen or you can stand behind the camera and watch. You need a horizon. Background, foreground. Large shapes go in the front. You stay on the big screen. Thank you, Laura. Large shapes go in the front. There. Small shapes in the background. So even a house, because it's in the background, right? A building in the background, it's going to be tiny compared to what's in the foreground. That's how we create the illusion of depth. If you have a pathway from the house to this tree, where it starts, it's going to be tiny. Or where it starts, it's going to be huge. Where it ends up, it's going to be, think about it, you stand at the end of the road, rails. So you're standing, there's a view. But in distance, it's very small. All right, so I'm not gonna do about too much, so you've got to spend time. Color. Let's start with watercolor. So that Lizzie can see. We have the three primary colors: red, yellow, blue. You can mix any color onto the planet with these plus what? We mix red with yellow, you get. Mix red with blue, you get. You mix blue with yellow, you get wherever the green. Here, blue with yellow, you get green. Oh, now it gets interesting when you mix red with its complementary opposite. So red with green makes a lovely neutral brown color. And Impressionists really took advantage of the complementary color. So for example, the brown of a tree, they didn't go to the store and buy brown tea. They would mix. Yes. All right, I'm gonna just use a piece of paper. And because they didn't believe in using black, and they wanted to recreate it close to the real color as possible. They use the secondary colors. This is not those. Now you have a corner here. The science of color available to them at that time. And they use those complementary colors to create colors that they actually saw in front of them. And they use small brush strokes to apply the paint because they believe, hi Jenny, They believe by putting small strokes of color next to each other, your eye and your mind would blend the colors together, and therefore it would look more like light. You could play with shadow, and it would look more real. Now, for a truly good artist, you wash your brush, or you mix colors, like me, messy artist. So, for example, if you're working on leaves, want to make your green, and some parts of the tree, particularly the ones on top, are going to be lighter and brighter because that's where the sunlight is going to hit it first. So you would use our yellow and less blue. And blue make green. Underneath, where there's going to be more shadow, you would add more blue. The opposite of green on the color wheel is yellow, red. If you would add a tiny bit of red, start really getting into shadow. You would start dotting those different shades and tints of color within the leaves of the tree to make it look as realistic. And then as you get further back into space, you really have fun with mixing because things are quite gray back here. And black color entirely. They're very faded and dull. And you don't even have to worry about the tiny brush strokes that see that word in space, because you can't see detail. Things are farther away, everything gets very slow. All right, so a recap. Red with green, yellow with violet, orange with blue. Are the starting points for me. You can do it with pastel. Watch what happens with yellow and violet. Great way to make brownish color. Oh, I got green paint on my finger. You can mix with soft pastel. It's a wonderful warm brown. Orange. Orange and blue, it's like red, green, and yellow. With violet. This is my favorite combination. And here's another tip. Start with a lighter color first. It's always easier to make things dark than it is to make things lighter. Orange with blue. You see? That makes it a more neutral color. If you want it darker, you add more of the dark. Red with the green. Now this is tricky because which is the lighter? I go with red first. And the same rules apply with acrylic paint. Acrylic is the best color to use with the Impressionist technique, I think, because it's thick. So, orange. broke my rule. Should have started with the yellow. Always start with the lighter color first. Orange, mix blue. Neutralize. Puts it in more neutral brown band. And so, for the tree trunk. Again, small brush. Don't smooth your strokes because they're believed pleasant. Juxtaposition, putting the colors side by side makes your mind blend into it. Review. What period of art favorite? That's just impressionism. Is that abstract face? Abstract expressionism. Or that's what I should say. The next one I got into. You want to work? That was my graduate school, yes. Where did you find it? My undergraduate at the University because there's pride. I wanted to go to France. Because you know, go to art school and you go to a liberal arts college. That was the pride. I think we did. Better there. That was a pretty darn good ride. Yeah. Any questions? Interesting. You should take it. And it was a big mistake because Douglas College was a hotbed of radical. Oh my Lord. So you got even more of what did you say? I really you can't put what you. Yeah. I really regret it. One semester, everything changed for you. It's a year. Nice sophomore. Of course. I would use paper data, but there's a lot of on that. And you how I know sort of turn it horizontal. But I'm not forced to style this. You know why they are trying that? Yeah, it's down with a basis there. Oh God! And what else? The way it's a way to learn. Yes. So I haven't really for them at home. Right, so Laura, whenever you get a minute, I'd like to change back to the big screen so that we can do the picture. We got erasers. Probably that erasers complete. Yes, yeah. Hi, Margot. Sorry, we were doing a demonstration and I didn't realize you were trying to get in.
It's okay. I'm sorry I'm late. Had
It's
to
okay.
run out before it got hot.
And you know, there's a class this afternoon as well.
I think I'm signed up for this afternoon's class. Thank
Good.
you.
Okay. Just
Yay.
reminding you.
Okay, thanks.
So this morning is Pizarro. We're doing landscapes because that's what he was most famous for. I'm about to share one of his pictures.
Okay.
I just did a demonstration on how to do Impressionist technique, or my version of how to do Impressionist technique. There are millions of YouTube videos on how to paint like an Impressionist, just letting everybody know.
Excellent.
Millions. Everybody here seems to have started already. Would you prefer a landscape or a street scene up on the big screen? Street scene? Landscape. Okay. I like his street scenes. But that's, I shouldn't have asked.
Here with my boys.
I never learn. When I don't ask, there's rebellion in the ranks. I can't win.
Try.
I
Price.
can't win.
Oh, yes.
Okay, here is, oh, is this pixelated? It's very nice. It's reminding me of not Hopper. Who is the American landscape artist? Heather.
Wyatt.
Nope. The one who did the rolling fields that look like, they look like quilts. He did the portrait of the American couple. Oh, he's so famous. Never mind, it'll come to me. And they did their small brush strokes too. Sometimes they used a round tip brush, sometimes they used a square tip brush. They love texture. We talk about that when it's brush. Just put it away. It's no need. That's the question. Of course. Like we at least have option. Of course. Very good. You probably you said that. Of course. So 3 primary colors: red, yellow, blue. The secondary opposite. Well, you want to put them two. Okay, I'll help you fix it. The secondary opposite is orange. Yellow is light. So what? Also, Marisol also used colored pencil. Use colored pencil, softness of oils, watercolor. Some leaves. It's incredible. She was amazing. So much written about Sarah. Like you also put them up. You know that, right? He's beautiful. Oh, this one, oh, yes. So after the, well, you might want to do the one on the big screen because it's big. Trying to do a little picture from your phone is difficult. Oh. And I've said that before. I should have repeated it. I apologize. Trying to do work from your phone is hard. It's tiny. It's easier to copy from the big. So even in the skinnier or smaller parts of the painting, I want you to notice, look up for a second. He didn't smooth things out. Like, look, even in the tree trunks, there's a lot of texture. In the ground, there's a lot of texture. It's not just that this is pixelated. He left the brush strokes showing all the time. They did not like perfection. The Impressionists were trying to capture just a moment in time, an impression. That's how they got their name.
There, on. Okay.
Was that a comment?
No, sorry, I was talking to the cat.
Talking to the cat. I bet the cat loves Impressionism. And
They love to do art with me.
turn my phone off this morning. Sorry, everyone. You know what place that- Yeah. Of course. I have a question. Yes. Okay, so your horizon line, the green, that separates the land from the sky, the edge of the green, your horizon. Oh, it's good. The mountains are above the horizon. Oh, okay. So actually, yeah, they'll be very boring. Put it in the middle. So closer to the bottom. Great. You might be more interested. know I read. There. Yeah. Courage. Great way to begin and go back. Should try to dry something. They, Marisol started with a layer of white. And so did Linda. That's what I was trying to do. Yeah, but trying to capture the what? It's just a picture of. And where I used to hold myself up. I haven't gone there yet. It's here, Florida. My family's from Naples. No, Naples down in Italy.
Oh.
No, we're going to Orlando.
Never gone. So the Billy Brooks and sister too.
Oh, she. Yeah. Some garden goes on.
Okay.
Naples is the picture that I'm showing.
Oh, great. I think that was a picture from like all day traveling. Oh, I get that.
Oh. Yes.
Really nice. Okay.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. Yes, Monet was a master.
I used to wear something.
What a mixing. See that child, they'll just got right. If you don't like the color, just don't use it. Use your brush. That's the fun of color mixing. It's experimentation. You mix the color, you don't like it, wash your brush, start over. The only way to learn about color mixing is keep trying. It's like cooking. But if you like cooking, it's so similar to cooking. Throw in the spice, doesn't taste so good, you don't use it. I'm sorry. You need more color. You get all the orange and the violet. Plus you can use white. White is gray down. You need orange, you need yellow, you need cotton. So add more color. White will lighten it, but it will also make it grayish. And make sure you clean your brush between color changes. You're ready to begin.
Yeah, I gotta stand it. I mean, why did you finish? Did it wrong?
When you're mixing, you start with that light color and have the dark. I would do your larger areas first. Yeah. So do the sky first, and then the grass. And then do the mountains, leave the trees alone. You can get it very dark. But there, yes.
Other questions?
Yeah, you can do that for others. So you need a lot of white. For that part. A lot of white, just a teeny bit of color. It doesn't have to look exactly like the photographs in your copy. No one's gonna see that photograph except you and I. It wasn't gonna be a perfect copy.
This last time I saw this, I thought it's like it's like
Try it. Go ahead and try it. Now, those of you who are planning to come back for the afternoon class and you don't finish your work in the morning, you can just leave it right where it is. And you can either finish it in the afternoon or you can do the project for the afternoon class. True, Laura? That's true. Right, there'll be a new link. Well, folks at home, you don't have to clean up. The new link for the afternoon class, Laura said she'd send out in about an hour, half hour. Okay.
Very long to stay. I think you had a different.
Oh, my hair is very long. It's red. Yeah, it needs to- like this. I used to be blind too. I'm blind. Big mind employees. That's true. Honestly. She is older. She's 6 years older. She's married. That's. Yeah, 30. This is crazy. So far, they're saying. It's not bad, you know. Yeah. Oh, there was another. Eight. Yeah. That's huge. Right. Well, they helped with it. I got in touch with the entire West Coast. A little early. Not even 9 o'clock. I want to start where I made the color. Everybody art. The dark red mark. No, she has some of it. Yes, the wine. Like it. Right, right. Yeah. Yesterday.
One so yet. You want to stand back here and look at this. Yeah. No, yes. That. In Douglas Crawford. That's a sheer. You can stay. Oh, yeah. Like where? Where it is.
Next layer.
I'm not sure. How long? Yeah, because you could see them. The government website. Create and rest. If we could go up on the home. They have those box. They do it. And that's what they used to stage and rest. They would stage it. Yeah. Was it saying that? Summertime, yeah. It's they spending. About those schools? No, yeah. It's about the schools. No, it's spending too much money. Giving credit to the those starting some of those projects that we want to put in. So I'm thinking it's another $100 in the money is still. How long is the here? Yeah. The last thing is
I haven't checked in with you guys at home. You're good? Lizzie, you all right?
I'm good,
Okay, good.
maybe.
Watching.
It's relative. It's coming along.
So glad you're back.
Oh, thank you. I did miss you guys.
Aw,
But we're getting there.
good. It's hard to start up again, I know, but
Yeah, because I
you'll
haven't done
get
anything
in the
since
swing.
last fall. Not that I was that great to begin with, but
Yes, you were. Yes, you are.
well, thank you. But you know, it's fun.
Good. That's what I want to hear. So, I want to repeat, if you're planning to come back this afternoon, you do not have to clean up. Although if you're using acrylic paint, you want to make sure you put your brushes in water You don't want to leave your brushes out to get hard.
Time is the afternoon class, 1 or 1:30?
This class ends at 12:30. The afternoon class starts at 1.
Okay.
Runs from 1 to 3.
Okay.
Folks here who are planning to not come back this afternoon, you have about 10 minutes till cleanup. And I would like to do a sharing today because I'm seeing some really gorgeous work. Diane, are you going to catch a bus today? Oh, okay. So, no, I just wanted to know if you had to go first.
On Lost Amusement Parks and the Jersey Shore. There's gonna be a Jersey Shore historian, so I'm going up there to sit in.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm out for the day.
I'm going to be near you next Wednesday. I'm going to the commissioners meeting in Union City to vote on the racial pollution. We need support. We want them to resolve to pass the Climate Superfund Act. Your perspective is fantastic. The key thing is the wetter your brush, the less color, the drier your brush, the more color. The drier the brush, the more.
Yeah, I'll put a little.
I'm putting watercolor paper.
I'm trying to,
Yeah, we can do crayons.
how to use.
Are these watercolor crayons or real crayons? Oh, they're oil pastel.
Yeah.
So you can draw first if it's, and then paint over it, yeah. We've done that in this class many times. 5 minutes till clean up. If you're not planning to be here.
Doing a double shift.
Double shift, put it on 15 minutes. This afternoon. Double load.
Holding, yes.
So the artist this afternoon is a neoclassical artist. She's a portrait painter. Elizabeth Vigée Lecomte. Why don't we leave some more? Although you're using water. But the history about Vigée Lecomte is you need a truck. You're gonna abbreviate her life story. She wrote, an autobiography. She wrote a memoir, so there's a lot of information about her. And because of the French Revolution, she was forced to lead a peripatetic life.
Reading ice cream.
Go get warm. Take me with you. It's on wheels. Maybe a bathroom available on the shelf. Just be careful of the wires. Oh, that one just became great.
That's perfect.
So hot yesterday, they thought the fish and meat guys were in the market. We're not going to sit. Unless. Bye. So a couple more minutes and then we'll share. I'm going to stop the share of this painting.
What was the name of that painting is?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Is there-
I don't know. I am, as I've said multiple times, I'm not an art historian, so I don't really search for that information. So those of you who are not cleaning, I'm assuming you're gonna come back this afternoon at 1 o'clock. Otherwise, please stop and clean up. Oh, I just got a text from Lindsay. The new Van Leeuwen's ice cream place just opened up and the line is short. It's $1 ice cream until 1 p.m. Not sure the location. I think it's on Washington Street. Van Leeuwen, V-A-N, new word, Leewens.
What street?
I don't know, Washington. I want to say like 5th or 6th. Supposed to be very good. The New York Times did not rank their vanilla as #1, though. They ranked Ben and Jerry's vanilla as #1. I'm a little cranky with Ben and Jerry's at the moment. Because of their policy on biogas.
Was arrested.
I'm sorry.
One of them was arrested for something.
Oh, well. They seem to think biogas emits less methane than natural gas, and I disagree with that. But they, at their plant in Vermont, they are converting food waste into biogas to produce electricity. All right, so let's share. I want to start with folks at home. Robin, you're first in my queue. Would you like to share?
I just started to paint because I did a drawing. This is when I was in France, in Projean, France. This was the scene from the chateau where we were staying. And I
Nice.
started the drawing, but I'm starting.
Ah,
to paint. So it doesn't
love the
really,
drawing. Are you going to use paint? And if so, what kind?
I'm using gouache.
You're going to use gouache.
Yeah.
Marvelous.
We'll see what happens.
All right.
Well, I'll join you from 1 to 2, then I have to do something else, but I'll come back to
Okay,
it.
so we'll get to see actual progress today. I can't wait.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. I love the drawing. All right, Lizzie, you are next. Thank you for sharing, Robin. Wow. And this is watercolor.
Yeah, yeah.
Very nice. Are you going to go towards any warmer colors? Does the landscape have any yellow
There's a little bit of yellow.
warm tones?
Uh,
Curious.
I have a little bit of yellow here, but
Oh, I do see it now.
I
Okay.
think I am slowly learning that with watercolor, it looks darker, and then when it dries, it's not so dark.
Right. That is one of the, I don't want to say disadvantages, but one of the characteristics of watercolor is that it does fade as it dries.
Hmm.
Are you using watercolor paper?
Yeah, but cheap
Oh, okay.
because
It
you know,
does
I hadn't done
affect,
anything.
yeah, it does affect the quality of the color, the kind of paper that you use.
Oh,
But this is a beautiful painting. Keep
this
going.
this is the picture.
Photograph. Is it a painting or a photograph?
It's a photograph from up by a Niagara Falls, like down river or whatever.
Nice.
But anyhow, trying.
Lizzie, I forget where you're coming from.
Oh, I'm from Palisade Park.
Palisade Park. Okay.
Yeah. So
Beautiful, beautiful
I
work.
would come in person, but I think that there's no parking.
And you would think
No,
correctly. All right.
All
Well
right.
done. Thank you for sharing.
Thank
And
you.
Margot, you are up.
Okay, I'm gonna share something I did earlier because I didn't have time to do anything today, but here is.
Wow.
Okay. Is that blurry or?
It is maybe back up just a teeny. No, now move closer. Yeah. Very nice. Is it wet or dry at the moment?
Is it what?
Wet or dry at the moment?
Dry. Dry.
Okay. So you can start now adding some more intense color if you wish, or darker color.
Mhm.
This is really nice. Nice composition.
Okay.
Is that watercolor?
Yes, it is.
Mm.
Yep.
Great job. Yeah, you can start adding some textural effects if you'd like now.
Mhm.
All right, Daniel, do you want to share next?
Sure, how about if anything complete? Anything complete, but I can share some progress.
Let me get out of your way.
Well, I didn't get my time so much time, and the whole thing was big, but still.
Nice work, Daniel.
Love the perspective, Daniel.
Thank you. But again, it's complete.
Is that watercolor?
Um,
Are
With
you
the
going to
chalkboard?
continue with the greens in the foreground?
No,
Or
not exactly. Not exactly. I don't have much time, and today I can't stay for the second class and all this stuff.
but are you going to work on it at home?
Maybe, maybe it was more kind of like a therapeutic exercise I was doing more.
Okay.
But still, landscapes are not exactly my forte. But I'm glad that I used the exercise.
What was media?
Like flowers.
Again, it's incomplete. And no flowers. This is a jungle. Not all the time. There's more greenery. Yeah, flowers are sometimes too small, and it depends also on the jungle. If it's kind of like a rainforest, there's more greenery. Then the flowers are going to be there, but not they're more pretty much hidden.
Dude,
Does feel very jungle.
Mhm.
So is the black going to be rocks?
Mm, the black is
Shadow?
shadows more.
Oh, I see.
Sometimes things are a little bit too hidden. That there's darkness in there, so there's black.
Mm. Yeah, I like the colors.
Great perspective.
Mhm.
It's watercolor pencil. And so it's not complete yet because I haven't applied water to any of it. And that'll make the foreground much darker. when I
Very
put-
nice. Well done. You don't have to activate it if you don't want to. It's up to you.
I can't understand.
What did you say? Was that Margot?
Yeah, that was me. I said she doesn't have to activate it if she wants to retain some of the detail.
Oh, yeah. When you add the water, it adds a lot of detail if you do it, with a fine tip brush.
Yeah,
So, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
It's an experiment.
Yeah, one of the pencils are very versatile. I have some, I have to bring them. I haven't brought them in a long time.
I never met him, but I had an uncle in Italy that was a painter and sculptor. And this is a depiction of one family heirloom painting that I have. It's called Il Castillo, the castle. Now they do like mud baths and mineral springs, but it's a seaport town in Naples, and just a simple replica of what, of course, is brilliant, but just just the idea of my family heritage all the time.
Pull it back just.
Yeah,
towards
sure.
yourself Just a little bit so people can see the whole
Yeah.
conversation. Love it.
Thank you. The sea is green blue. Thank you.
All right. Good, tomorrow. Oh, wow. Very good.
love it, Mara. Love the color.
Photograph of somebody's love.
Is that pastel?
Good work.
Do it, walking on my painting.
Tomorrow is the really good. You're gonna share? You sure? Work so hard. Alright, so we are finished with our sharing portion. Any thoughts on Monsieur Pizarro, the father of Impressionism? It's the perfect, well, not the perfect day for painting out of doors. It's the perfect day for thinking about painting out of doors. Certainly the sky was an incredible blue when I came in this morning. So it will cool off soon. And I hope to see some of you this afternoon for a totally different kind of artist, Elizabeth Vigée-Lebrun. The link should be up and available for people to sign in for that class as well. Those of you who are here, go get some lunch, come back at 1 o'clock, go warm up. That's what I'm gonna do. And I'll see everyone this afternoon. Take care. If not this afternoon, I'll see you all next week. We will have a whole new theme for August. I think it's celebrating summer vacation, but don't quote me on that. All right, art on, everyone. Take care and bye for now.
Thank you.